hope it changes. I hope things are better next year. I hope they put me in the starting lineup. No, what is it going to take for me to be in the starting lineup? And then let's execute the 4-point plan. What is it going to take for me to get to the next level, to be on that team, to get to that goal that I've set, which is, maybe my PR, whatever it is. Then I'm going to go ahead and follow the steps, okay? I'm excited for you to see this week's episode, but before we get to that, I have a message for you. If you're a parent of an elite athlete or a coach of a high-performing team and you're looking for some help or assistance with making them more mentally resilient, perform with more confidence, be more consistent, anything like that, then this is for you. I have an 8-week program all designed to address exactly that, to help your athlete be at their best on a more consistent basis and not get tripped up by those little voices in their head and getting down on themselves for mistakes, but performing like we know they can. So what I want you to do is don't delay, just grab a time on my calendar through this link, and let's set up a time to talk about your specific situation and how what I'm offering in my 8-week program can help. Okay? So it's bryndrescher.com/free consultation. So click this link, grab a time on my calendar. I look forward to talking to you. And now on to this week's episodes. Hey, we're full of hope. We like to say hopefully. We talk about, I hope it works out for me. But hope is not a strategy. It's just a feeling. Just like, hey, you know what? I want that to work out for me. Sounds great, but there's nothing behind it. Unless we break hope down into an analogy. Until we break down hope into an analogy, I meant an acronym. Another A word. So until we break it down into an acronym, hope itself is not a strategy. It's just an emotion. It's just a feeling, and you're just kind of like, yep, I hope that works out. The thing is, when we say hope, if you think about all the times that you've said hope, it's been more about kind of just like a way to be somewhat optimistic, but not really actually fully commit. It just feels like right before commitment if we think about it. When we say the words hope, we're like, yeah, I hope so. But inside, I think, and I can speak for myself when I've said it, it feels more like a maybe, if that makes sense. It's almost like I'm preparing myself. Like, yeah, I don't want to jinx it. We love to use that word, right? And we think that if we go full out and say, yeah, things are going to go well, I've prepared myself, those are the things. But most of the time, we're really just kind of like, yeah, hope everything goes our way on Sunday. Hope practice goes well. But it's more just like a fingers crossed. And we don't want that type of strategy. We don't want that type of execution. Okay, so we're going to talk about hope. And instead of turning it into that fingers crossed, don't jinx it type feeling, we want to turn it into something that's a little bit more hard hitting. Okay, so I want you to write this down. Our first letter in our new strategy, okay, and strategy for being effective, for actually making something happen, to commit is H is hard work. Hard work. The H stands for hard working, right? So what that means is hitting it hard. You're going to go after it with everything you've got. You're going to put in the work, okay? You're going to put in the conditioning. You're going to put in the extra reps inside, outside of practice. That H is hard hitting. You're going to hit it hard, okay? Hard working, hard hitting. The most important thing is we're going to go hard at our goal. We are not going to just sit here and hope. We're going to go hard. Because when I was growing up playing basketball, in the brief time that I was a basketball player, many of you know that I really found my true athleticism on the track, but it was go hard or go home. That was the expression that I grew up with. So we're going to use the H in hope to talk about hard. We want to hit it hard, okay? The next thing is going to be weird because I just said, hope is like this optimistic thing, but it's optimistic thinking. So in other words, we have to get in a mindset that we know it's going to happen, and not just optimism, like, hey, I'm looking on the bright side, but we're actually doing the work. we are actually doing the mental work, right? We're working on our mind. We're making sure that we're priming the environment up here to actually get to where we want to go. So we're going to hit it hard. We're going to look down the road and we're going to see the vision. We're going to hold the vision. And that is through our optimism and sort of, having the optics of it all. Okay. So it hit hard and then optimistic thinking. We need to be in it. We need to be making sure that we are clear headed and we're honed in on the goal. Okay. So hitting it hard, optimistic. The next part, okay, which I think is really important is P, which is persistence. We must persist. There's going to be days that we're not going to feel like it. There's going to be days where we might not see movement. We don't want to stop at any particular obstacles or challenges that are going to show up. We need to be persistent. We got to push through, right? If anything, it's sort of push, but be persistent. So we must be persistent in our hitting it hard. We must be persistent in doing our mind work and keeping our mind honed on the vision of holding it and knowing that it's going to happen through our optimistic thinking. And then, our persistence is what's going to pay off. Okay. Our persistence is what's going to pay off. And then our E is just execute the plan. So we've got a plan. We know that if we step by step follow it, it's going to work. So now we can say HOPE is a strategy, but not hope. Hope itself, standalone, just sounds good. It makes us sound like it's not a full commitment. It's a lot like the T word, TRY, okay? It feels like it's something, but it's not really anything. And I know that we were all kind of raised. My best friend used to say this thing, hope is a good thing, maybe the best thing, and good things never die or something like that. And it's interesting because, of course, it feels good to hope, to have hope, of course. And that's where it started, but nothing happened from hope alone. It has to be some things behind it. So we got to get into action. We got to hit it hard. We got to optimist think. We got to persist, and then we got to execute. Okay. So we have our goal. We've focused. We've gotten clear. We are doing the work physically, mentally, and then we are executing the plan and making sure that we're going to get results. Okay. We're going to get results. Okay. So if you want to put an R on there, you can be a hoper. So that is something that I want to make sure that you are executing on a regular basis as an athlete. Make sure that you are following this formula and knowing that hope is not a strategy. I hope it changes. I hope things are better next year. I hope they put me in the starting lineup. No, what is it going to take for me to be in the starting lineup? And then let's execute the 4-point plan. What is it going to take for me to get to the next level, to be on that team, to get to that goal that I've set, which is, maybe my PR, whatever it is, then I'm going to go ahead and follow the steps. Okay. It's no need. So stop drinking the hopium. Okay. Smoking the hopium and get into action. Okay. And it's also really important because we don't want to set ourselves up kind of like to let ourselves off the hook, because it's almost as if we give too much power to the maybe something might not work out. And so we want to always be in the category of knowing that things are going to go our way, one way or another. But what we don't want to do is just say, yeah, I mean, like and I have coaches that I work with, and if I use that H word, okay, they're always like, what'd you say? And I'm like, no, I mean, yeah, so like, for example, I'm hitting a goal and I'm like, yeah, for example, I've got 1 week left in my business for this month. And then, I'll say, oh yeah, hopefully I'll hit the goal. And my coach will say, what do you mean? I'm like, no, I'm going to do everything possible to execute the goal. So I'm guilty of it at times. So I want you to work on catching every time you say it and reframing that and just remembering hope is not a strategy, but I'm going to hit it hard. I'm going to have optimistic thinking by doing my mind work. I'm going to persist no matter what. And then I'm going to execute every step of the way, making sure that, just like Kobe said, it's simple math. If I want to be the best, I'm just going to have to put in all the work. All right, so that's been this week's solo episode. If you have not already subscribed, you got to subscribe. You're missing out. All these new episodes. I've got so many amazing people. I got a soccer agent that's killing the world of, she's a woman, an African-American woman who's an agent in the world of soccer, that's not very common. I got that coming to you. I got more football players. I got soccer players. I got my first track athletes coming at you. Please subscribe. We are going all around the world of sports and really helping you get the mental advantage. Thanks for watching. Let me know below what your favorite part was. And if you haven't shared this podcast with anyone, please do, because sharing is caring. I will see you next week when we sit down with another awesome person and find out more about what their mental advantage is. In the meantime,